get COVID. It's easy. Therefore, those of you who got little fever, are you all checked today? Huh? Today? All checked? Okay. If you have little fever or even cold, you stay back at home, no problem. One day if you are losing, no problem. If you persist and come to school, what will happen? You will damage the others. And damaging the others is not just by health alone. It's also money. A lot of money your parents will have to spend. So in all sincerity, if you get any fever, any cold, you better stay back at home. Particularly if you have some throat pain and difficulty to breathe. This is a general rule. You must practice not only when you are in the classroom, even outside. Okay? Come in. Okay, why don't you, four of you shift? You also shift, man, you shift. Go inside so that people can come. They don't need to go all the way like this. Occupy first this side. You also. Come forward. Go inside. Manoj also go inside. Are you very close? Move inside. Okay. Okay, we'll pause a moment in silence and pray that your effort of coming to school may be blessed by God. Thank you. We are dealing with the second scene in the Act 3. Come in. Did you submit, Donald? Come in. Come this side. Go behind. See, man? Okay. So we are seeing the third act, scene 2. In this third act, scene 2 is a very lengthy one. So do not count the periods. It's a very long, lengthy scene. But the important thing takes place in this scene. That is, Bassanio fulfilling his desire or bringing to some conclusion the casket story. Portia and Bassanio, they have been loving each other, perhaps without much expressing to each other, and now Bassanio gets the chance, the one chance to win the hand of Portia. So he is before the caskets. Yesterday, the story that we have covered up to was his arrival was announced in Act 2, Scene 9, by a servant. we do not see Bassanio on the stage, but when the curtains are opened, Bassanio is there on the stage along with the Portia. That is, the scene is taking place in Belmont. So Bassanio wants to move ahead and choose the casket. He cannot wait because he has come for that, and he doesn't want to postpone. But Portia wants to. What does she say? Tarry for a while. You wait for a while. Tarry means wait. You wait for a while. How? What is the length of that while? For a while?
2 months.
1 month or 2 months. Finally, first she says 1 day or 2. Finally, she says, you take your time. Don't be in a hurry. Go slow. Take your time, even if it is 2 months. Why? Indecision is always painful. When you are not choosing this side or that side, you are caught up between, it is painful. But Portia is willing to go through that pain because it is a sweet pain. The person whom she is loving is there. And therefore she is willing to go through that pain of dilemma, waiting. So she suggested Bassanio wait for at least 1 or 2 months, relax, and then you choose. But we see Bassanio doesn't want to wait. He goes ahead. And that time Portia says she is like Hesione, who is tied up for the sea monster. This we have seen yesterday. For the benefit of those of you who did not attend, I am just repeating the storyline. Portia speaks in terms of Greek mythology, where in the Greek mythology, in Trojan, a sea monster always comes and attacks the village. Every day the sea monster takes away lots of people from the village. So the village people, the king made a pact, the village people made a pact, an agreement with the sea monster. And the agreement is that the village people supply one beautiful lady, one young lady, one person to be the food. So every day the sea monster comes, they tie the victim to the pole, and sea monster comes, eats and goes away. This is the drama that has been going on. Now, one day it came the turn of the king's own daughter. He has to offer his own daughter. Her name is Hesione. Hesione. She is tied up to the pole. The sea monster has to come, and therefore to see this tragedy, all the people of the kingdom have come to that beach. They are called Dardanians. Dardanian wives, they are said. Dardanian wives means Dardanians are the Trojan people are also called as Dardanians because the Trojan kingdom was established by Dardanus, the forefather. So from his name, the people of that country get the name Dardanians. So all the Dardanians assemble on the beach. They are waiting for the sea monster to come. And it is that time by name Alcides. Alcides, the son of Hercules, another name. Spelling may be wrong, you can check. Hercules is god of courage. Hercules is god of courage. His son Alcides, a young man, he comes into scene. He fights with the sea monster and saves Hesione. Portia is just on the stage. Bassanio is venturing to go to test his luck by choosing the casket. At that time, Portia is reminded of this scene where Hesiod is not killed but redeemed. That means Portia has got some hope that Bassanio will redeem her, just like Alcides redeemed. Alcides saved Hesiod. Same way, Portia, who is bound by the will that was written by her dad, she says she is locked up in one of the caskets. Now Bassanio has to come and open up, release her, free her, set her free, save her. That is her desire. So when she is speaking of her tension, let us say, also hope that Bassanio would choose the right casket and redeem her, just like Alcides saved Hesiod. This is a Greek myth, a reference to the Greek myth. I think that's where we stopped. Okay. You'll find it, line 60 in scene 2, act 3, line 60. To the sea monster, I stand for sacrifice, the rest aloof are the Dardanian wives with bleared visages, the faces marked by tear streams, the continuous running down of the tears. Therefore, lines are marked on the faces. Whose faces? The people who gathered there. Who are they? They are Dardanian people, Dardanian wives, the ladies of Dardanian people. They are all crying there because one of them is tied to the pole and the sea monster is going to come at that time. The issue of the exploit. Go Hercules, live thou. Go Hercules. Who is Hercules? Courage. Bold fellow. That is the meaning here. So, go Hercules, live thou, I live. You are a courageous man. To whom is she saying? Bassanio. Bassanio is spoken with the name of Hercules, simply calling him, go, O man of valor, O man of courage, go ahead, you live, I also live. You live by your decision, and as a consequence of your decision, I will also live. With much more dismay, I view the fight than thou that makest that prey. You make that sea monster run away. Okay, the bad luck you make run away by your decision. So I would like to see that fight that you would launch with that opponent. So at that time, music is played. That is the style. That is the English custom. That when the marriage proposals are going on, they play the music from the windows. And that music is not just played by playing a cassette or a stereo record player, because those days there were no record players, there were no cassettes. We are speaking of 15th century. And that time, the instrumentalists, the musicians will have to physically come, sit, and then play. So they would sit outside the window, not in the room, outside the window. But they will give the accompaniment to create the environment. So what is the environment here? The celebration. So sweet music will be played. So what is said here? Music. Whilst Bassanio comments on the caskets to himself. So he will be saying something to the caskets, and that time the background music must go on. That is the direction for the theatre. Tell me, where is fancy bred? Tell me, where is fancy? Fancy here means love. Tell me, where is love bred, born up? where love is born and brought up, or in the heart or in the head. Is it born in the heart or in the head? Where is the love born? Heart. Huh? Okay. So you test yourself whether you are correct or not. Tell me, where is fancy bred, or in the heart or in the head? How begot, how nourished, how it is born. Begot means born. How it is nourished, how it is fed, how it is raised. Reply, reply, come on, tell, reply, reply. It is engendered in the eyes. It is engendered. It is not born in the head nor in the heart. It is engendered. It is made. It is produced, or it is born in the eyes. The love is born in the eyes. With gazing fed, the love that is born in the eyes is fed, is nurtured by what? Gazing. What is gazing? Gazing, gaze. Gaze means look intently. Look intently without closing the eyelids is called gaze. You look at a person intently for a long time. That's called gaze. Graze. What is graze? Huh? What is graze and graze, man? Gaze, look intently. What is graze? Huh? Eating grass. Huh? Feeding grass. Grazing the buffaloes. Feeding grass. Okay. So, it is engendered in the eyes with gazing fed. So, what is born in the looks is fed with gazing, constant looking. And fancy dies in the cradle where it lies. And fancy, love, it dies. Where, how? In the cradle where it lies, where it is, it will die. Let us all ring fancy's knell. Let's all ring fancy's knell. Knell is a bell sound. Bell, we have big bell, church bell. Its sound is called knell. Knell. Knell means bell sound. Usually, knell is heard at a time when people die. It is not ringing continuously. They give one beat, tang, then they wait, tang, on each beat. That is a knell. It is also called death knell. It is a sign of people's death. That's how people round are announced that somebody dies. So, let us all ring fancy's knell. I'll begin it, ding dong bell. So, that is the song. All others are responding. Ding dong bell. This is in the background of the music. This song is being sung as a background. Now Bassanio, he has to go and choose now. So may the outward shows be least themselves. May the outward shows, outside appearances, external appearances be least themselves. They should not capture the attention. The world is still deceived with ornament. The world, the onlookers, people who see are cheated by what they see, because the things are put up with ornament. That's not the real beauty. It is added on. It is made up. In law, what plea so tainted and corrupt in law, in the court, in the matters, in the legal matters that are fought out in the court, what plea so tainted and corrupt? What plea? What request? What request is tainted, contaminated. Colored, tainted means colored. Colored and corrupt. Degraded, falsified. But being seasoned with a gracious voice, a wrong case in the court will get won. A wrong case in the court wins by a seasoned voice. An experienced lawyer can make the black into white and white into black. We have plenty of well-known lawyers in India. One example is Ram Jethmalani. I think he died recently. There is also one Pakiwala. These people, they are highly famous. And any court they enter, they win the case. So people who are in huge difficulties, they will hire these people. And they will win the case for them. It may be totally wrong, and that man may be totally evil one, but still he will win the case because this man will argue in such a way. All what court needs is not the subjective truth, but objective truth, how it is presented, how it is argued, how it is proved. Court needs the proofs, not the really what has happened. Okay, that's why innocent people also will get punished in the court. So that's what Shakespeare is saying. In law, what plea so tainted and corrupt, but being seasoned with a gracious voice, obscures the show of evil. Obscures, covers up the show of the appearance of the evil. The appearance of the evil is covered up by a sweet sound, by a sweet seasoned voice in the court. So in the court people get deceived. The evil wins with its appearance. In religion, it's not only in the court, in religion also it happens. In religion, what damned error, but some sober bro will bless it and approve it with a text, hiding the grossness with fair ornament. So in the religion also, the damned sinner, one who commits the worst sin, is declared sinless by the priest. A sober person, a priest, by reading the text and blessing the person, he is relieved of all his mortal sin. He is declared sinless, not a sinner. It's all because of the priest's appearance. Just like the sweet seasoned voice in the court, here by the mediation of the priest, that person, the worst sinner, is declared sinless. All these are effects of ornamentation. There is no vice so simple but assumes some mark of virtue on his outward parts. There is no vice, there is no sin which cannot take the appearance of a virtue, as a goodness, because of its outward parts, the way it is explained and expressed or shown. How many cowards whose hearts are all as false as states of sand? States of sand. Can there be states of sand? Suppose you build steps with sand, will it stay there? No, it doesn't stick. A coward's heart is something like that. How many cowards whose hearts are all as false as states of sand, were yet upon their chins, were put on upon their chins. These are the chins. So upon their chins, the beards of Hercules and frowning Mars. All the coward people, they are interiorly very, very timid. In their hearts, they are all shivering, but externally they will put up a show of Hercules. Beards of Hercules. Beards. Beard of appearance of Hercules. Who is Hercules? God of valor, courage. So they put up as if a very bold person, courageous person. But interiorly, they are all shivering. They are all they are all cupboards inside. Inside they are timid, but externally they put up a show that they are very brave and courageous, bold. Whose hearts are all as false as stairs of sand, were yet upon their chins the beards of Hercules and frowning Mars. Mars is again a goddess of war. How should a person fighting should be? A fighting person should be bold, should be courageous, warriors, soldiers, kings, army people. They all have to be very courageous, bold, warlike. So Mars is god of war, and Hercules is god of valor and courage. Now these timid people, they put up the show outside like as if they are sons of Hercules and sons of followers of Mars, like bold people, courageous people who can fight. But interiorly they are. The truth inside is different, and what is expressed outside, what is shown up, what is showcased is something different. Do you follow? So Shakespeare says, the beginning sentence, all what is shown out, showcased is false. Appearances are not real. What is real inside is shivering. They are all timid people. But externally, showcased is the valor of Hercules and Mars. Who inward search have livers white as milk. Where is the courage? Courage is supposed to be in the liver. According to the people of that age, they believed that if you are courageous, your liver is red. Yeah, your liver is red. Okay, they believed that the valor is residing in the liver. We all say now the love is in the heart, but Carolites say love is in the liver. You might have just guessed because we are speaking about liver. They say ende karle. Ende karle means oh my kaleim, oh my liver. We say oh my. We say, how do we say? Oh my heart. Okay. That's how Telugu say. But Keralites, Malayalis will say ende karle. Ende karle means oh my liver. So people from place to place, culture to culture, they vary. This is British culture. In those days, they used to feel that the valor, courage lives in liver. So, what is the reference here? Who inward searched, if you search inside, have livers. These cowards have got livers, not of red, but of milk. Milk is white, white as milk. And these assume but valor's excrement. But they put up a show of valor. They assume they are courageous. To render them redoubted, to make them doubt. Look on beauty, and you see it's purchased by weight. Take the case of, not the valor now, take the case of beauty. It is purchased by weight. How can you buy the beauty by weight? Is it sold in cages and grams? Huh? What is the meaning there? And look on beauty. Take the case of beauty. And you see it's purchased by weight. Beauty is purchased by weight, weighing machine, which therein works a miracle in nature, making them lightest that wear most of it. What they buy in kilos is a miracle. And making them lightest that wear most of it, those who put on the beauty that is bought in cages, they are actually the light people. Their beauty, external beauty, is bought in cages. How can you buy external beauty in cages? You are buying Fair and Lovely now?
Glow and lovely.
Huh?
Glow and lovely.
Grow and Lovely.
Glow and lovely.
Oh, Glow and Lovely. Olden days, there used to be Fair and Lovely. Now it is, that's how people grab money. The thing is same. Only the titles are, only covers are being, externals are being changed. What is that? The paste, the ointment inside is same. Now the name they change. Glow and Lovely. So if you apply Glow and Lovely every day, you will become fair. Beauty. Huh? How many of us must, I must use that?
Glow and lovely.
Glow and Lovely. Huh? So that is buying beauty in buying makeup things. Okay? Buying makeup things. So, having made up face is not beauty. Beauty is something inside. That's why in the beauty contests, they also ask questions. It's not just checking how graceful is your face, but also checking how graceful is your heart. Not the health of your cardiological health, but the feelings of your heart, the ability to respond, the attitudes you have towards the others, the issues in the society, the poor and the marginalized, the creation, how you respond. The beauty lies in the way you express yourself. So it's not just lip movement and showing your false teeth, arranged teeth, brightly shining. The smile, no? They show a nice smile, Binaka smile. But they are all made up, we know. See now. So the reference is that. So in the case of beauty, look on beauty and you shall see it's purchased by weight. The beauty, external beauty, is purchased by weight, making them lightest that wear most of it. Most people who buy beauty in cages, they are very light. They are in their capacity, interior capacities, they are good for nothing. Only such people, they buy the makeup things and make themselves up. So are those crisp, snaky, golden locks. So are those crisp. What is the meaning of crisp? Curly locks. Ladies have got locks, no? Rings. The hair has got rings. These are all, they are not natural. They are also made like that. So are those crisp, snaky, curly, wavy, easily twisting golden locks, which make such wanton gambols with the wind. So these curly hair locks, they gambol, they move freely, where in the wind, in the air, they are so light and they dandle, they dance in the air, which make such wanton gambols with the wind upon supposed fairness, often known to be dowry of a second head. Upon supposed fairness, people think they are fair with all this makeup, but then often known to be dowry of a second head. Dowry, what is given? Given as a gift. By whom? A second head. Most of these things, these curly locks are wigs. And wigs are made up of the hair of somebody else. See now, wigs are also worn to deceive people. Bald-headed fellow will wear a wig. And most of our cinema heroes, and we are not aware of that. The skull that bred them in the sepulchre, the skull that bred them, the skull that is brought up in the where? In the sepulchre. What is sepulchre? Tomb. Sepulchre means tomb. That means this is the hair of the dead people that these people use to beautify themselves. Thus ornament is but the guiled shore to a most dangerous sea. So ornamentation, the external makeup, is a sort of big cheat that is dangerous, pushing us to the shores of the dangerous sea. The beauteous scarf veiling an Indian beauty. Indian. Who is an Indian in 15th century? Huh? Not the Red Indians, by the time they were not spotted. Who are the Indians? Not Asian Indians. They are West Indians. West Indians are dark. They are black origin. And therefore, the dark-skinned people, what do? They tie a white scarf to appear like a white people. Because for the British people, the Elizabethan time, Shakespeare's time, British people, the beautiful people are blondes. People with fair skin, fair color, golden color hair. Those are the beauties, celebrities. Okay. So these West Indians, they tie a scarf round to deceive people that they are beautiful. In a word, in short, the seeming truth which cunning times put on. The seeming truth. It is not truth, it is seeming, appearing to be true. Which the cunning times put on, which deceiving times, cheating people put on to entrap the wisest. The times are so cunning, they put up this kind of shows in order to trap, in order to catch. In order to catch whom? The wisest, the wise people. Therefore, thou gaudy gold. All this is said by who? Bassanio. Bassanio is speaking to himself. So what is he saying? Therefore, and so, thou gaudy gold. He is before the casket of gold. Golden casket. And thou gaudy gold. Gaudy, deep color. Deep color, if anything is called gaudy. So deep color, deep gold color, hard food for Midas. What is hard food for Midas? Who is Midas? Midas again is a Greek mythological figure, a king who asked for a favor. Favor from the king, from God, and he wanted whatever he touches must be gold. That's his desire. He wants to have plenty of gold. So he asked God, give me a grace, give me a favor, that whatever I touch must become gold. He cannot eat gold, no? Huh? So Even when he is touching he touches his daughter, she turns to gold, golden statue. And he touches food, it becomes gold. He cannot eat gold. So that is Midas touch. Midas touch, have you heard? They say Midas touch, not Midas touch. Midas touch. What is Midas touch? Touch of gold. Okay, I will complete this. Hard food for Midas. Hard food. Food that cannot be eaten. I will none of thee. I will none of thee. I don't want any of you. I don't want you, gold. Nor none of thee. Not even you. Who? Not even you. Thou pale and common drudge between man and man. Thou pale, lifeless, dull. The silver is a common precious metal which is used as an exchange between the people in the business. People use those days the coins were made of silver, and so people when they barter or when they buy something or give something, they use that metal. I don't want you, but thou, you. Thou means second person singular. So, but thou meager lead, meager, small, cheap. Lead is cheap. What is lead? Lead is a metal. Okay? It's a very cheap metal. Thou meager lead, which rather threatenest than dost promise aught. You threaten more than you promise, because all the knives are made of iron, no? So, which rather threatenest than most promise aught. Thy paleness moves me more than eloquence. Thy paleness, your lifelessness, moves me, attracts me more than the eloquence, the words. Your disability or your weakness attracts me more than the words. And here I choose. And here choose I. Here I am making up my choice. Here choose I. Joy be the consequence. Let there be joy out of my choice. So what is he choosing? Lead casket.